Hello, everyone. Um, Good morning or good afternoon. Depends on where you are. This is a recording. Um, my name is Lian. I would like to introduce myself. I basically handle PageWide XL for the Philippine market. For those of you who already know what a PageWide is, then please bear with me. For those of you who have no idea what a PageWide is, I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes to explain to you what this unit is and how it's going to apply to the Philippine market. Okay, so first let's move on. Let's first move to the most basic basic what is it of the page wide. Okay, um, to cut the long story short, you guys are all familiar with the design jet, right? You all know what a design jet is. It's basically a large format printer that does engineering prints or architectural prints, plans, technical drawings. That's what a large format machine does, right? That's what an HP design jet is. The PageWide basically is an HP design jet on steroid. It's the same thing as as what an HP design jet is, except it's designed to do things on a production level. So, for example, an HP design jet can be sitting right by your office, and then you're putting jobs into the machine, right? 10 prints, 20 prints a day. That's not a problem. But the moment you have 300 prints a day, 500 prints a day, when you are starting to scale up the number of prints that you are doing, that's where we come in. That's where the HP PageWide XL multifunction printer comes in. This is ideal for environments where, for example, you're a copy center where students line up to have their jobs printed for you, or you're a big engineering firm or a big architectural firm that needs to have their prints quickly, effortlessly, and in great numbers, right? So what you're looking at is the basic anatomy of the unit. Um, I'm going to move my cursor. Sorry, I don't have the red dot thingy. Um, the anatomy of the machine is pretty simple. It has a top stacker. So this is where the prints come out. It has a 1,200 dots per inch scanner. And it has a touch screen. It has 400 ml cartridges for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And it has paper. It has two paper trays, and each tray is capable of handling two rolls. So you can have up to 4 different rolls of different type of paper that the machine can use. On default, it comes with one drawer, but it's upgradable into two. So that's the basic anatomy of the unit. Really, it just looks like a big HP design jet, but the difference is actually inside on the mechanisms of the machine. It's designed for a different market, for a much bigger and much more robust market. So here, just to give you a snapshot of what the family is, of what PageWide family is, the smallest unit we have is the PageWide XL 3900. The 3900 prints at 6A1 per minute. And next to that is the PageWide XL 4100. The 4100 prints at 10 prints per minute. Most of our current install base, most of our current existing users uses this model, or the predecessor of this model, which is the XL 4000. On top of the XL 4100 is another unit called the 5100. This is an even bigger machine. Well, actually, size-wise, they all look the same. They all look the same, exact same size, exact same. It will eat up the exact same amount of space from your office. The only difference, basically, with these units is the speed of which they are printing. Because when you come to the PageWide XL 5100, it is now printing at 20 prints per minute. And on top of that, the top of the line is the XL 8000. The XL 8000 prints 1A1 every 2 seconds. So you can imagine it prints 30 prints per minute. If you need 100 print, I can easily do that in what, less than 5 minutes. So On the productivity itself alone, you know that this PageWide is a different beast, right? um, a job that would require for a normal large format printer will take 3 4 4 minutes to print one single page, or a fast one would take 1 minute or 2 minutes to print a single page. This is okay, this is not a problem. It doesn't make sense to invest in something this big if your volume doesn't require this kind of speed, right? But for example, if you are a copy center and a client comes in, I need 100 prints or I need 200 prints, that would basically tie up your machine for the entire afternoon. And you wouldn't be able to accept the second client. With the page wide, you will be able to do that. If you're using the 8000, it's 2 prints per second. So if a client comes in, I need 100 prints, you can just ask him to wait and then wait 5 minutes and give the prints back to him, right? So, so this is how you're going to this is the lens wherein you're going to take a look at the page wide. You look at the page wide through this lens. It's designed for fast production printing, whether in a repro house copy shop environment or in an office environment that requires a lot of printing. And what does PageWide actually do? Aside from productivity, um, the other thing that PageWide brings into the market is it allows the clients to print in full color. It allows them to print in PageWide color. See, it's not just a black and white printer. It's actually a large format full color printer. Um, Here's the thing. Um, normally, an office environment would have a smattering of different machines in their vicinity. They would have a large format black and white. They would have a large format scanner, and they would have a large format color printer. So, what the PageWide does, it allows them to consolidate all these different units into one single machine. So here's a typical scenario. An end user would have one black and white machine to do the large format. For example, this is an engineering firm. They would have one machine to do large format black and white. Then they will have another machine to do large format full color, right? And a scanner somewhere for doing large format. Now, as the engineering company grows, as their print volume grow, they will find that, hey, we're doing a lot more black and white prints, and maybe we need another machine, right? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna get another large format printer. So now they will have two large format black and white printer and one color large format, right? Then after a while, hey, our volume, our printing for color is starting to grow. Maybe we need another color printer. So under this situation, in a situation wherein a client starts getting a second unit or a third unit or a fourth unit just to cater to their print volume, that is the situation wherein PageWide can come in. So PageWide comes in, it consolidates all the black and white large format printer. You don't have to buy that many large format black and white printer. It consolidates your color. You don't have to upgrade another color large format printer if you need it, because your PageWide can already do it. And then it incorporates the scanning functions into it as well. So so with these capabilities, PageWide now allows you to do these. It allows you to do white prints. It allows you to do natural tracing paper. And since you can print in full color, you can do digital blueprints. So instead of doing ammonia prints, those prints can now be done on the machine, and it's done digitally. So you don't have the smell, you don't have to the labor, that you have to do, you have to take in order to come up with blueprint ammonia blueprints. So now this can be done digitally. So and with color capability, you can do color CADs, you can do maps, you can do posters. So it allows you to do different large format jobs on a single platform, and it does it very quickly. So here we move on to our value proposition. As we go face to face with an end user, how do we proposition our page wide? How do we convince them that they should invest in such an expensive unit, right? when a smaller large format printer would do the same job. Why do I have to pay that much more just to get the speed? Okay, so here's our value proposition. There's four value proposition for our machine. Speed, reliability, it has a small footprint, and cost savings on operation. I'm going to deep dive into each one of these. So let's start with the first, speed. When it comes to speed, as I mentioned, the PageWide is designed to do your prints accurately, very, very quickly. So if you need a large number of prints, the PageWide can do it just like that for you. Why? Because normal large format printer have a scanning printhead. It has one printhead moving left to right, left to right, left to right to do the prints, right? PageWide doesn't have a printhead moving left to right, left to right. It just has a print bar, has a print cartridge sitting on top, a large print cartridge sitting on top that is non-moving, and the paper moves. So to illustrate how this works in the real world, take a look at this part, the scanning printhead and the 40-inch PageWide XL print bar. Okay, here, this is the difference in terms of speed when you're printing on a normal large format printer and a PageWide. If you notice, by the time the smaller large format printer prints its second line, PageWide would have already finished its second page. So speed-wise, this is immediately a big change in a client's workflow. If I need 100 prints, I can get it this afternoon. I don't have to wait until tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, right? If I need to fold those prints after I print them, not a problem. I don't have to ask Mr. X to do overtime just to fold the prints because I can be finished in 5 minutes. Then he can start folding the prints, right? So finishing is also going to be faster. You save on manpower, you save on utilities, and all these other stuff that comes along with a shortened operation time. So that's the first thing. That's the first unique selling proposition we have: speed. Second is reliability. If you notice, here, sorry, just take a look at my cursor. I don't have the, like I said, I don't have the red thingy. Um, here, instead of a single print head moving left to right, what PageWide has is a single non-moving print cartridge with very few moving parts. So this thing doesn't move. It just sits on top of the machine, and the paper goes through the print cartridge, and the print comes out. So So basically, um, there's not a lot of places where the machine can break. There's very few moving parts, so it's pretty reliable. It's a very heavy duty machine. You can print thousands and thousands of prints on it, and the only thing that you're going to have to do is to change the ink cartridges, because that's about the only thing that's going to break. Yeah, the print that I mean that's about the only thing that's going to be used up. The printhead, yes, the printhead also breaks, and the printhead also has to be replaced like any other machine. But um, aside from that, there's very few other things that can break from the unit. And printheads are basically user replaceable, so you can do it. We can do it for you, right? We prefer actually doing it for you, so we can monitor the machine at the same time. So second thing is reliability. If you're in a business environment wherein your machine cannot break down, you would need that. A copy shop. When a copy shop's machine breaks down, their business stops. So this reliability is very important. When a government agency printing large format, when their machine breaks down, they have commitments that they're going to get in trouble with, right? So reliability is important, and PageWide delivers on this second unique selling proposition that we have. The third unique selling proposition we have is a small footprint. Like I said, instead of having many different units, a separate color large format, a separate scanner, a separate black and white large format, or a separate 2 or 3 different black and white large format just to cater to the volume, all of that, all of that can be consolidated into one single unit, and that unit can be put in the corner of your office, and that's about it. So you save on space. The footprint is small, so you have a small footprint, and this is perfect for establishments that doesn't have the luxury of space, or an establishment located on cities that where office space is expensive, right? Or repro houses, which are normally very small, mom and pop shops, right? And finally, no, sorry. So when we consolidate all these printer, you save on a lot of things. You save on floor space, you save on printing costs, you save on resources because different. If you have a different supplier for your large format um, black and white machine, a different supplier for your color machine, a different supplier for your scanner, then you're gonna have to deal with different service teams when these machines break down. You're going to have to deal with different suppliers for inks and consumables, right? So so you'll be able to save in terms of supplies management. It's easier. It's a lot easier because you're only dealing with one company, and then there is a service level agreement wherein we commit to make sure that the machine is up and running all the time. So in a sense, you can consolidate your management of your machine, and you can consolidate your equipments. And in terms of operation, if you consolidate your workflow, right? If you'll be able to do the printing very quickly, you're going to be able to save a lot in terms of utilities. Right now, go to any architectural, engineering, or construction firm, or go to uh, any repro house that are printing large format in big volumes, you will encounter overtime. You will encounter the air conditioner having to be opened, or the lights having to be open until 9 in the evening because somebody still hasn't finished folding the prints or hasn't finished printing the prints. So you're gonna have a lot of cost saving in terms of your operating costs. So this all contributes to the ROI for your unit. And moving on, moving on, um, one thing that PageWide brings to the market that nobody else brings to the market at this point in time is color transformation. If you forget everything I say in this presentation, just remember this one: color transformation. Why? Because as of the moment, PageWide is the only unit that allows clients to print their black and white prints and their color prints at the same price. So we usually encounter that problem before. People print in black and white. Why? Because they want to save on color. Color is expensive. So they print one page in full color, and then they make photocopies of 20 pages in black and white, right? Precisely because black and white is cheaper than full color. Or they make one full color print, and then they have to go for ammonia based blueprint for the rest, for the other 50 prints, right? With PageWide, color cost is brought down to the price of a black and white machine, of a black and white print. So with this, any user who's using a PageWide now has the luxury of printing everything in full color. And this notion is no longer going to be true. Color is no longer going to be special because it's not going to be as expensive as it used to be. So here's a sample black and white print showing ventilation of a building. Here's that same print in full color. So it's a lot easier for the foreman, for the engineer, for everybody to understand what's on the drawing, right? Here's a sample diagram. That same diagram in full color. So with this capability, there's an added bonus actually. With the capability of printing full color at the price of a black and white, you can convert all your ammonia-based print to digital blueprint. In fact, this is where we are having the biggest impact now in the market. After installation of PageWide on our clients, they every single one of our clients that installed the PageWide stop printing on their ammonia blueprints. Why? Because they can just simply print those jobs using color blue, using the color cyan on the page wide, and the cost will be the price of a black and white. So they don't have to go through the transparency. I mean, they don't have to go through the ammonia, the smell, the drying time, everything. They don't have to go through that. Anybody who's printing on ammonia right now would be very happy if they'll be able to use the page wide, because all those jobs can be done digitally, can be done in a few seconds, right? Instead of waiting hours or days to dry the prints. And and it's going to be very efficient, right? And the cost is going to be the cost of a black and white large format print. So we are actually at the forefront of leading a big change in the Philippine market, because um, right now a large portion of Manila's ammonia-based prints are already being converted into digital using using the page wide. Anybody with a page wide would convert their ammonia prints into digital print. Anybody who's competing against a page wide with ammonia prints won't be able to compete unless they use the same equipment. So so that would change the market, and that would change even the customer's point of even from the customer's point of view, because customers would start looking at this and see, hey, there's a big advantage on digital blueprint. No smell, fast turnaround time, right? So this is going out, and the market is accepting it, and the market is changing. So there's still a lot of room to grow. So this is something that you would want to highlight when you're speaking to an end user regarding the page wide. So with the page wide, you can easily grow because you have fast color, excellent document quality, and you can apply them on what you're applying right now. So the monochrome of the monochrome prints of architectural, engineering, construction firm, you can do that in full color. You can convert them, right? And then maps can be done in full color, very cheaply, very efficiently on a page wide. And some non-conventional applications, actually, posters, retail point of sale things, offers for supermarkets, or even posters for health facilities, schools, things like that. They can all be done in full color with a page wide at a very cheap cost. So it allows you to have new applications. Now I'm going to dwell a little bit into the reliability and the low cost of operation of the machine, but I wouldn't be dwelling too much on this one. Here's a simple picture of what happens when you buy a page wide. The first part is equipment price. That is where it's gonna be expensive. The machine is way more expensive than ordinary large format printers. Precisely because it's not an ordinary large format printer; it's a production large format printer. So when it comes to equipment, yes, it's going to be a little. It's no, not a little. It's going to be more expensive, right? If you are but if you take into consideration that instead of buying two black and white large format, one color large format, and a separate large format scanner, if you add all those costs up, you're probably better off with a page wide. So we can help you if you need to discuss this with your end user. We can go with you and visit that end user and discuss this part, because actually this is the most difficult part, the equipment price, right? Once you get past that, once you get past the equipment price, the second is running costs. Here you wouldn't have a problem because our machine operates at a much lower running cost compared to non-production level large format printers. And third thing is service costs, support and maintenance. Good thing about it is PageWide is covered by our pay-per-use program. So pay-per-use program is basically a program wherein we charge our client on a per-use basis. So they don't buy their consumables on us. They just print, and then we bill them on a per print basis. And in return for that, we take care of everything for them, all consumables, all repairs, all spare parts, everything. So So this actually works out a lot better for them. If you need help, of course, you'll be needing help in explaining this part to the client. We'll be here to help you as well. So, and finally, once that equipment is up and running in your facility, you start saving on indirect costs. So aside from saving on running costs, your running cost is going to be a lot lower. You wouldn't spend much on service costs, and then once that unit is in your place, then you start saving on manpower, on overtime, on processing time, and a lot of other things, right? On utilities costs, things like that. So um, we can actually help you craft this and customize this presentation to your client. So we will take a look at how much they're spending on their current equipment, how many prints they're doing, amount they're spending on manpower, overtime, stuff like that, and then help you we can help you figure out what would be their expected ROI when they invest on a page wide. So now I'm going to move, okay? And in the interest of time, I'm going to move into part of the technology of the page wide. I'm just going to touch on it. Long story short, it's a scalable printer. So yeah, that's the print head you're going to have. One print head, non-moving, stationary in place, right? And here is one thing that I would like you guys to remember. PageWide does not use dye inks. PageWide use pigment inks on all color: cyan, magenta, yellow, black. So all color use pigment ink, which means once your prints are done, they're done. You don't have to dry them, and you can feel free to pour water on it because the prints will stay. Your paper will be ruined first before your prints. So this is one good thing. The color fastness is very high. So a foreman's sweaty palm or rainfall, raindrops wouldn't be a problem if your prints are printed on the page white. You can basically pour an entire glass of water on it and the prints will stay. So to summarize, um, the PageWide XL's strategic intent is to replace LED and alternative technologies in the technical production market. It's supposed to serve as your main production printer, not as a color companion. It can do the job of 3, 4, 5 large format black and white, or 3, 4, 5 color large format. You can it's intended to be your main production printer. It's superset of LED and inkjet, so there's no trade-offs. There's no trade-offs with the prints of the machine, right? And it's an end-to-end solution, so it's not just a print engine. The unit can, depending on the needs of the client, we can have uh, pre-print and post-print accessories on the unit. So we can do things like automatic folding, we can do pre-flight, we can do all these things depending on the needs of the client. So these are some of the end-to-end end-to-end integrated solutions of the unit. Here is a here are some of the. So it has the smart tracker. That's a software. HP Click, another software that would improve your pre-printing capabilities, right? And we also have some folder and post-printing capabilities and additional paper trays if you need them. So that more or less concludes my presentation. Feel free to get in touch with me or Lian of WSI. Yeah, Lian and Lian, we have the same name. Feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to assist you on any inquiries you might have for the page wide. Okay, thank you very much.